Okay, so there comes a time in your equity curve when you have to ask yourself the question, the obvious question: what is my actual strategy? Do I have one? Or am I just entering trades based on my emotions, how I feel about the market? Am I entering based on bars that I see, based on these retail patterns that I see? Or do I actually have a system that is proven, a system that's tested, a system that works? So today we're going to talk about how you can maybe look to develop that system and some of the beliefs and thoughts that goes into having a solid system. So you don't want to be the person with equity curve in green. You don't want to be the person with equity curve in orange. You want to be the person with equity curve in purple. So how do we get there? First thing to do is you need to have a system. Number one, what's your system? Okay. The second thing you need to do is you need to have, okay, what is your system? What's the returns of your system? Now, this return can be measured in so many different ways. All right, and we can talk about that perhaps in a boot camp and perhaps in a one-to-one session. Now, the next thing you need to also ask yourself is now that I have a system, I have the performance of my system, what's the potential drawdown of this system? All right, have I tested it for the month? Have I tested it for the year? Have I tested it for the past 10 years? Okay. Now, once you've got that, you need to then ask yourself, all right, in implementing this system, all right, what are the drawdowns? Okay. What are the trading efficiencies based on my personality, based on my trading style, that over time happens over and over again. So now do you see the importance of journaling? Now do you see how, I wouldn't say difficult, I don't think trading is difficult, but now can you see the time it takes to actually, develop a system, have a strategy that works, have a proven strategy that works, okay? And then one you can actually develop over time, over the years, that can make you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. All right, so it takes a very long time. So once you've got some of these things, you're on your way. You're on your way to being profitable. You're on your way to get your funded accounts. You're on your way to pretty much the market is at your mercy once you've got all this sorted. All right, so we're going to talk through each one briefly. Okay, first of all, what is your system? All right, what is your system? Now, this is the most. I can't emphasize this enough. Now, this can be anything, in a sense. Your system can simply be based off of trading bull bars and trend bear bars. All right, that could be your system, your strategy. Your strategy could simply be I have a pro trend strategy where I'm only trading the 4 hour lower highs. Okay, that could be your strategy. You're only looking to long 4 hour lower highs. That could be your strategy. Your strategy could be I'm only looking to play ranges. I'm only looking to play price when it ranges. So when we see stuff like this, okay, so we're looking to either short at the top of our range or we're looking to long at the bottom of our range. All right. So what do? We short in premium and we long in discount. Okay, so we have a long at the bottom and a short at the. This could simply be your trading system. This is what you do. This is what you do on a 1 hour, on the 5 minute, on the 40 minute, whatever. We don't care. Your system might be I only enter long whenever I get the divergence in my RSI or a MACD crossover or a magic cross, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Why? Because having a system alone is not enough. Having your system alone is just one of the steps you need to take. Okay. So the next step you also need to understand is how do I know the expectancy? Do I know the profitability of the system? So go back in time and see, okay, when this signal has popped up, how frequently does it pop up? How many trades do you get on a 4 hour? For Bitcoin, for example, you don't really get many 4 hour trades. Okay, you might get one every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. All right. How many trades do I get based on my system on a 10 minute? Do I need to reduce that to the 5 minutes so I can have more trades? Okay. So once you've got that, calculate the expectancy of your system. Now we can obviously talk about that in way more depth. This is like 1% of what you need to know as far as developing a system, developing the expectancy of the system, and also developing a system whereby you have back tested it and forward tested it and tested it for your personal trading inefficiencies. every trader in this world has inefficiencies. What do I mean? Every trader in this world makes mistakes. Even in every footballer in this world, the best footballer in the world, Messi, Ronaldo, till today they still make mistakes. The best basketball players in the world, Steph Curry, LeBron James, they still miss shots. All right. So just like that, the best traders in the world still flop. So as a result, they track those inefficiencies, they refine it, they refine it, they refine it iteratively, to the point where they can be consistently successful, consistently profitable. And I love to use the baseball analogy. Did you know baseball players, professional baseball players, they only really make contact with the ball about 30% of the time? All right. So if you imagine you've got a bowler, all right, out of 100 bowls, professional baseball players that have been playing baseball since the age of 5. All right. Let's see. We're gonna call that baseball. Since the age of 5, all right, they only hit the ball 30% of the time. But guess what? That 30% they make it count, and that's how trading is. All right. So, anyways, that's it for the psychology today. Let's talk about the price action. Let's talk about what you came here for. Now, Bitcoin has been very, very juicy lately. Bitcoin is it's like we're just calling the market top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. All right. We're just calling it. We're killing it here. All right. So if you're looking to trade like this, understand the market to this degree. We've got a boot camp coming up, and that is on, I think that is the last Saturday of this month. So check that out on the website. All right. So let's take a recap of our last trade. Now, as of yesterday, this is literally yesterday, we said the Trump effect. Congrats if you long. That was the previous trade. What was the Trump effect? The Trump effect was as we got closer to this vertical green line, we were saying there's going to be a big move in the market. All right. Remember, this is when my friend called me and said, "Hey, we've got a move coming up. Look out for this. Based on fundamental analysis, there's going to be some move." And lo and behold, there was a move. But despite that, we're not big fundamentalists here. Despite that, what were the technicals saying? Well, the technicals were gearing up for a move. Why? We were expecting this range deviation play from this range high. Okay. Not only were we expecting a range deviation play from this range high, we said we had a 45-minute supply zone above us, juicy level to get a reaction from. And we also said we've got this 4-hour demand zone that we could easily get a reaction from. So let's see. Out of the trades given out yesterday, which ones did well? Bang. Well, we got a nice deviation from the range high. Beautiful short. Very nice short. All right. So if you got that, congrats. Now, not only did we get that short, we also now got this long as well. Beautiful long. Nice long. All right. So congrats if you took that one. That's 2 for 2. All right. So we're killing it here. So what we're going to say is we're just going to have a look and see on a myopic level, what really transpired. And look, this is crazy. Look at that line. That has a line drawn in. As soon as we tag that line, bang, 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 bang. All right, that's huge. That was huge. We had about a 7% move off of that line. Okay, so very interesting. We've been watching that line for quite some time. All right. So, anyways, let's talk about the price action. First of all, let's talk about the trade. Let's talk about the trade that. Let's talk about the trade we could have entered. All right, so we said we're gonna time travel. We're gonna go back in time. We said, hey, we're coming towards this range level. We've got 2 ranges here. All right, let's see what price does. Let's see if we not only do we see what price does, we've got this trend, this curve liquidity building that we mentioned, and we said, all right, can we get a nice deviation from that top? And look what we got. Not only did we get a deviation from the top, we got a nice PO3. Okay, so our structure on the way up. If we go down, let's say to the 10-minute, our structure on the way up looks like this. Now I'm just going to start here. Okay, we've got high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high, bang, break in the structure. It was a very aggressive break. I will tell you that. Okay, it was a very aggressive break. Okay, so how would you have entered that trade? Well, to enter that trade, I don't know. I think someone's messed with my template. So this is where the break took place. So we can call it our boss. Wait for the boss. You gotta wait for the boss. This is where the break took place. Okay. And then let's say on a 5 minute, we got a retracement. That retracement would have been here on the 5 minutes. So we have a low and then we come down. So if we're looking to enter that trade, we would have probably been looking to enter this trade around here. Okay. Stop loss up here. And we will look to drag that at least, remember what I said, at least to that demand zone. Okay, so that would have given us a decent 3x, about 3.5x. Not bad. All right. But if you entered off of the close of the break, you'd have got 4.8x. Okay. But we give that a 3.5x. Not a bad trade. You just times 3.5 of whatever you've risked. Not bad. Now, what you also need to be aware of here is that some of you might have been caught off guard here. So for those of you I don't teach, I'm pretty sure you saw this and you said to yourself, "Oh, this might be a break." Why? Because we've closed above this zone here. This looks like a close. Okay, you saw this and said this looks like a close. But, all right, what we had here is a classic PO3. What is a PO3? The PO3 is when you range and then you manipulate, all right, before you expand. All right, so this is a classic PO3 we had here. So we had our range, okay, classic range, and we can add that to our template. Let's call that a manipulation. After we had that manipulation, what did we have next? We had, no, we had, after had we rearranged, we had our manipulation, sorry, it's a bit late. We had our manipulation, all right, and then after the manipulation, we had, I'm going to just change that to an accumulation. We had and then we had our expansion down. All right, so this is classic PO3. What we got 1, 2, 3. All right, that's exactly what we did here. Okay, so what does it look like here? So we've got 1, 2, very classic. Bitcoin loves to do this. 3. All right, so congratulations if you shorted that. Well done. And then we came to this zone, this 4-hour zone that we were watching. So the alerts went off. Okay, drop down to about maybe the 10-5 minute if you want to get a decent entry. Okay, and as we came to this zone, we're saying, okay, is price going to give us a flip in market structure? All right, so structure on the way down looks like this. We have low, 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 high, low, 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 high, low, low. So in order to justify a trade here, we need to wait and be patient and reclaim this level before we can enter a trade. So what happens next? What is price comes? Does price give us another low? Let's see. Okay, so price plays around here for quite some bang. All right, it's tricky here. This is a tricky one. Let's just check. Oh, yes, it does. It's not as tricky as we thought. Why? Because price came back to give us another lower high, lower low. Okay, that means this became the decisional point. Okay, so after we broke structure here convincingly, okay, so that break in structure would have taken place here. Look at that. We got a retracement, off we go. Okay, so you definitely could have entered that one on the 5 minute. Let's see, could you have got a 10-minute entry? Not necessarily, not a smooth 10-minute entry because this is a flush down. Your 10-minute entry would have been all the way up there. So you wouldn't have been able to enter that on a 10-minute. Would you have been able to enter a 12-minute, 15-minute? Oh, see, on the 15-minute, you would have got a 15-minute entry as well, but not until this bar. So the 15-minute, you might have had to sacrifice a good risk to reward, but we'll stick to the 5-minute. Okay, remember, don't play with the 1-2 minute, but with the 5-minute, you can get quite reliable moves off of the 5-minute. So if we were looking to long that, that's the break. Our retracement is here. We cover that low, similar to what we did for the long. Okay, and then we simply play and we see what price does. Let's see how far price takes us. So let's let price do its thing for a bit, and we can do a risk to reward analysis on that and see how well we've done on that trade. Okay, so on that trade, it looks like we got a 3x. So 3x, 3.5 on the way down, 3 on the way up. Not bad. You just made 6%. All right, 4 more percent. You've passed your funded account. Okay. Not bad at all. If you risked 1K, you just made 3K. All right. So that's that. So what we're going to look at now is where is the next trade coming from? All right. I think it is a good time to start from square one. So what we're going to do is give you a little bit of market perspective, okay? Getting getting the grand scheme of things when it comes to Bitcoin. I think it's a good time to do that. Let's see if we can get a fresh Bitcoin. It's rare to have a fresh Bitcoin. You see, because I'm always back testing, always looking at the charts. It's rare, very rare. I have a fresh Bitcoin page. I think this might be a fresh one. All right, let's see. Let's play with this one. Whew, look at that. All right, so this is just from me back testing some ideas and playing around with some ideas. All right, but we'll go over this. All right, so what we'll do, right click, remove drawings, 180 drawings. We'll get rid of this Bollinger Band, get rid of that guy. And here we go, we've got a fresh level. So we're going to start afresh and talk about the price action and see how we where we go from here. So Bitcoin has obviously been on a bit of a rampage since 2017. We've had a clear market structure on the monthly. We've got high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high, SFP of the high. We retrace, we break structure, and then we flip structure here again. And since then, we've kind of been on a monthly move up, right? Funny thing is, looking at this, guys, on the monthly, I know you don't want to hear this, but on the monthly, we could still get a retracement that can come as deep as 30K before we head back up. It is possible. Is it plausible? Is it probable? Probably not, but it is possible. So now we go to the weekly. Now we're not going to worry about all this structure here anymore, are we? What we are going to worry about is what's going on in front of us. So on the weekly, what's going on in front of us, if we look at this expansion leg, is very clear. We've got high, 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 low, high, high. Okay. Now, I'm not going to call this a high, low for reasons that I will not disclose here, but I will disclose in the bootcamp. Okay, so now I'm going to say this is a straight move up. This is a straight move up. Okay, so that means on the weekly, we're going to change the weekly to a different color. Let's change it to blue. On the weekly, we could really and truly get a retracement that comes back down to about maybe the 58, 60Ks before we head back up and maintain that weekly structure. It's still very much doable. All right, but we're not trading on a weekly, are we? That's going to take us ages before we get into a trade. What we are going to do is we're going to come back down to maybe the daily. All right, let's see what the daily's saying. Now, on the daily, all we're doing here is analyzing this expansion leg. All right, so on the daily, what do we have? We have high, 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 low. Let's skip a few high, 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 low. Skip a few high, 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 low. SFP, blah, blah, blah. Skip a few high, 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 low, high, high. All right, so this is what we have on the daily. All right, so I'm going to get rid of our weekly structure, get rid of that structure because we kind of have the big picture now. This is what our daily structure looks like. All right, so on the daily, we can see that we are still in this range. Okay, and this is our daily range. We have come to the range high, which is where we're flirting with right now. All right, so we're going to see, can we break from this daily? All right, if we break above this zone, what are we going to be looking out for? Well, clearly, we're going to be looking for a break, a retracement, and a continuation. Very, very simple if we break bearishly. Now, there is a chance that we play around in this range, okay, and head back down to the range low. That's perfectly possible. Why? Because ranges like to oscillate. Remember, in trading, in football, in physics, in science, inertia is a big thing. That means whatever has started to happen will continue to happen. So here we have a range. It's probably going to continue to range until it decides not to. Bang. Then it's going to continue to trend until it decides not to. And guess what? That's where we get the phrase from. The trend is your friend until the end. It's basic inertia. All right. So what we're looking at here is to see, are we going to break through this level? Are we going to see a close of this bar above that zone? And if we do, we're in for longs. Or are we going to SFP and rotate all the way down? How are we going to find out what's going to happen? The only way to do it is to put a magnifying glass in this region and zoom in. Okay. So if we zoom in now, we can see here that our structure on the way up is a little bit annoying. Why? Because we have a high, a low, okay, a high, a break-in structure, then another break-in structure, all right, which complicates things. Bitcoin does not usually do that. A pair that loves to do this is Euro USD. For those of you who trade Euro USD, you will be familiar with this. It loves to break and then break, giving you this nice divergent market structure. We can see this divergent market structure here. It loves to do that, all right? So how am I looking to play this? If I'm looking for a swing short here, if I'm looking to swing for a swing short here, I'll be honest with you, I can't really justify a swing short until we start closing below this level here. The moment we start closing below this level here, then we can justify a nice swing short that looks like this. A break, a retrace, and then a look to short it back down there. That's how we're going to justify that one. Okay. Now, as far as my longs go, now we have to wait to see what happens here. Kind of just have to wait, because what price could do is say, why don't we accumulate here for a bit, all right, before we pop off or we pop down. That's what price could decide to do. And if that's the case, well, why don't you catch a short here, catch a short here, catch a short here, catch a long here, catch a long here, catch a long here, and look for your confirmations. What are your confirmations going to look like? Very, very simple. Your confirmations are going to look like a flip in market structure. So if we look at an expansion leg, say this leg here, we're going to look like price is coming up, and then we're going to get a flip in structure, and then we can look to enter off of that flip there. But that is only if we start to range in that zone. All right. If and only if. All right, cool. So that's kind of what I'm looking out for on a macro scale. Okay. We're either going to break from this range, and in the case we are in all-time high price discovery mode, YouTube's going to go wild. Everyone's going to be like, Bitcoin's going to the moon. All right. If that happens, all right, great. And if it doesn't, all right, we do have to see what comes next. But there is one thing I want to tell you guys about. Historically, looking at Bitcoin, if you look at Bitcoin historically, near every top, it has created a counter trend model 2 entry, which is what I call basically a nice little SFP play. All right. So if we look at the all time highs in 2021, we had a high, it swept the high, down it went. If we look at the lows, we had the low of the bear market, swept the low, and then up it went. Same thing here when it came for the second time that caught so many people. We had a high, swept the high, down it went. Okay, so are we seeing that right now? Is that a possibility? Where this is the high, we sweep the high and down we go. That is some food for thought. Okay, always something you have to be aware of. And if that's the case, this could be the position for that monumental, catastrophic swing short that makes you a millionaire overnight. All right, no, I'm joking. All right, but if that is the case, then get into that trade. If you see your confirmation, like I said, we're not going to get a confirmation of that even being a potential until we start to lose this level, unless price does this, creates another high, so it takes that high again, okay, maybe creates a third tap and then break structure. If it does that, we enter here, not bad. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking out for. So that's the macro perspective. Let's go back into our normal charts and let's kind of zoom in and see what Bitcoin has to say on the more micro level. Okay, I can't emphasize this enough. Big congrats. If you have been following this channel, if you have been taking those trades, all right, and you are practicing above all good risk management, guys, you can be making bank on bank on bank based on these signals. All right. And you can also be losing bank on bank on bank if you are not practicing good risk management. All right. So just make sure you're doing it the right way, guys. All right. So what we've got here is our range, as we said. Again, we are waiting to see what happens at this zone. So where are my next scalp trades coming from? I'm going to tidy this up slightly. I'm going to get rid of this green box now because it's done. I'm going to get rid of this 4-hour zone because it's done. All right. We've milked the market. We got what we came for. All right. It's done. Also going to get rid of this 45-minute zone now because it's done. When it's done, it's done. We don't use retrospective levels here. We use live levels. All right. So these are all done. So now, where are my next trades coming from? As I said, trade number one is in the case that we start to lose this level. Okay, I'm going to look to short that. Trade number 2, if we do start to rally up here, this is more in the future. Guys, if we do start to rally up here, okay, and form a nice little range, I will be inclined to treat this as a range, waiting for a nice SFP play off the top of that range. Okay, so as a result, this is really looking into the future here, which I don't like to do. This will be my next trade as well. Right, SFP off that high. Okay, I'm just gonna have to wait to see what price does here. To be honest, I don't feel too comfortable, having a bias long or short yet. But let's wait to see what price does. We are getting a reaction off this zone, but we can't confirm that until we lose this level. Okay, now, so I'm gonna look to long there. I'm gonna also look to short here, wherever this low comes. It may be this low right now, but it may not be. I'm gonna look to short there. What else am I gonna look to do? Well, that's kind of what I'm looking to do right now. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's really it, to be honest. All right, and if we obviously get that flipping structure here, I'm going to be looking for that retracement, looking on this leg for that retracement. So that's it. That's it. I'm not going to give you something I'm not looking at. I'm not going to give you a trade that I wouldn't take myself. So that's kind of it at the moment. So if you found this useful, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit follow, hit me up on Discord, drop me a message, hit me up on WhatsApp on the website, and I will see you next time.